Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we are going to talk about Trenbolone, and I know many of you have been waiting for this video, but first and foremost, I have to reiterate and indicate that I am not a doctor. I am not indicating, advising, insinuating for you to use any of the compounds that I discuss whatsoever. This information is for your entertainment purposes only, and what you do with this information is completely and utterly up to you. So, that being said, let's get into the video. Now, many of you know Tren is often referred to and as regarded as the king of steroids and one of the strongest and most effective steroids to change your physique quickly. All right, now, it's part of the 19-NOR family of steroids, which are characterized by a modification of the 19th position. Now, like Tren, another popular compound in the 19-NOR family is nandrolone, which is decadurabolin and NPP, or nandrolone phenylpropionate, the short ester term of DECA. Now, although the real-world actions of these two steroids are completely different, they are still part of the same family. Now, scientists and steroid experts out there rate Trenbolone as having an anabolic and androgenic score of 500 to 500, with testosterone being the base at 100 to 100. Now, all steroids are rated as compared to testosterone. So the rating of 500 to 500, it means Tren is 5 times more powerful than testosterone in both its anabolic and androgenic effects. All right, so when we're talking about the anabolic effects of a steroid, we are actually referring to the desirable effects like muscle building, for example, nitrogen retention, cell repair, protein synthesis. In addition, Tren is 5 times more powerful than testosterone in its androgenic effects. So when we're talking about androgenic properties of a steroid, we are referring to effects like muscle hardness, strength gains, increasing metabolisms, and in some users, increased aggression. So, Tren's chemical structure keeps it from being turned into female hormones like estrogen by the aromatase enzyme. So estrogen side effects are not a concern. Tren's chemical ring alterations keep the aromatase enzyme from actually attaching itself to it and imparting its feminizing structural changes. So since Tren cannot aromatize and it's not going to cause water retention, the muscle gains made on Tren are very hard and very dry. And in fact, some users report a very noticeable drying effect from it right away if they're using a shorter estered version. Now, injectable Tren has been commonly available in 3 different ester forms. Number 1 is Tren acetate. And I did a video on Trenbolone half-life and things like that that you might want to watch as well. So, acetate is by far the most popular injectable version of Tren. It's mainly because it's been the easiest to obtain for most steroid users. For almost a decade, you couldn't visit a steroid forum without seeing threads everywhere about it. All right. Now, it's not as prominent as we've seen before. A lot of people do get sick of the side effects, and people get tired and they get drained on it. A lot of the things that occur with it, but it's still often regarded as the best. Now, there's some debate about the half-life, but acetate is usually injected every other day, but a lot of hardcore users do inject it daily and prefer that method as well. I don't see much of a difference there whatsoever, okay, between people that I've seen, users, etc. That's kind of a to each their own thing. Every other day is completely fine. Then we've got Tren enanthate. Now, due to the popularity of testosterone enanthate, the word enanthate has given a boost to this Tren. All right, to this Tren preparation. Now, ironically, enanthate is clearly not as powerful as, Hex, but it's sure as hell more popular. All right, this just goes to show you that quality doesn't always equal to popularity. Now, bodybuilders are usually doing things because they are popular, not because they're the most efficient way to get results. That's just the way it is. Just like testosterone enanthate, Tren enanthate is injected, twice a week, due to the longer ester. Now, some users will try to inject it once a week. I don't really recommend that, but that's up to you. Now, everybody's different on their preference, okay, so what ester you pick. But when you are starting out with Tren, all right, if it's your first go around with Tren, you should probably consider going with the acetate version. Why? Well, because Tren doesn't agree with everybody, and if it starts getting into the psychological effects that are just driving you insane, the aggression, then you can't handle it, it's out of your system a lot quicker on acetate. If you're on Trenbolone and you're 4 or 5 weeks in, it's going to take several weeks, and you're going to still be suffering from side effects. And if you're having to stop because you can't take it, the last thing you want is lingering side effects. And then Trenhex. I'm not even going to try to say the long way form to say it because it's just going to make me sound foolish. I could sit here and sound it out, but no thanks. Just call it Trenhex. All right. Trenhex is the famous Parabolone preparation of Tren that was like the magic steroid that you could find in the 90s. Why is it so popular? Well, anecdotally, you're going to find it to be a lot more powerful than acetate and enanthate. Since the real difference is the esters, this might not make much sense, all right? But from, seeing so many people use it, numerous clients, numerous people that I've seen, I can safely say that this is the best Tren out there. This is all from what I've seen. Weekly injections deliver amazing results because it has a longer half-life, and in addition, Parabolone tends to build up in your system and really pushing you to reach peak performance after the first 2 weeks. Stacking Trenhex can be a little bit tricky because most guys are using it for cutting. But the best way is with a every other week injection of like a longer ester chain like testosterone, decanate or something like that. But everybody's different. You can also do it with test prop, every other day injections. Now this allows, for an interesting mix of test and Tren buildup in your system. Oral Tren has 2 main ester forms, acetate and methyltrianolone. All right, now although the base here, Trenbolone hormone, is available without an ester, this preparation has never gained popularity. These are the 2 versions of oral Tren available, one with an acetate ester and a methylated version, like I said, and it's called Trenbolone, which has also been altered to the 17th carbon position for oral use. Now, most bodybuilders question the real effectiveness of the acetate ester in oral preparation, with most athletes opting to inject Tren ACE as opposed to trying to take it orally. Now, one of the things I always discuss when it comes to dosing is that you don't need more than 400 milligrams per week. You just don't. If you want to get the most out of Tren, and when I say getting the most out of Tren, to get the most out of Tren, you want to keep your side effects as low as you possibly can while still getting, enough within your system to really, really get out of it what you want. Now, 400 milligrams is completely top end on what I recommend. You're going to get results at 300. I assure you. Don't let anybody talk you in or tell you that is a weak dose and that's not enough, because that is simply not true. It's not. Doesn't matter your size, doesn't matter what. You will get a lot of result out of 300. And anybody that has been around this a lot and knows, if you go to forums with people that really know what they're talking about, they'll all tell you a little bit of Tren will go a very, very, very long way. You don't need to run it long either. If you're running Tren A 6 to 8 weeks, Tren enanthate 10 weeks is plenty. Plenty. Okay? Now, I want to talk to you about the side effects. All right? There's a lot of side effects associated with Tren. Tren is not, and I repeat, please listen to me, I urge you, Tren is not for beginners. If you're on a first cycle, do not use Trenbolone. You need to be an experienced user. You need to understand it thoroughly, inside and out. I see people that say they want to run this on a first cycle, and I sit here, and my desk is right here, and I just pound my head on it. Just, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? I just don't get it. Don't do that. You don't pick one of the harshest compounds out there, and you're a new person to this, and that's what you introduce your body to. You have got to use logic here. Does that really sound smart? I mean, really. I know some people are real big meatheads and they just don't care, but does that really sound smart? I don't care if you're lacking in brain power. There's no way that can sound smart. Okay, there's just no way. Now, common side effects. I'm just going to give you a list rundown here. Aggression and temper. Definitely, if you're overly aggressive as it is, don't use Tren. Night sweats, you're going to get those. They suck. All right, it's no fun. Decreased cardio endurance, once again, no fun, especially if you're a cardio athlete. GW 501516 can help offset that, but it's still going to be there. Dark colored urine. You could have an inability to reach a climax during sexual intercourse. You could have a loss of hair. Gynecomastia has been recorded in rare cases. You could have coughing spells on injections, Tren cough. Psychological problems. Psychological problems are a big deal with Tren. Having weird, crazy thoughts, some people suicidal thoughts, super emotional thoughts, up and down like a yo-yo. Okay, there's a lot of problem here. One of the first things to do with managing side effects is controlling your dosing. Okay? Like I was just talking about. Because all of these side effects, you're going to experience some of them. You might not experience them all. Let's knock on wood and hope you don't. But you're going to experience some. Okay? And hopefully it's manageable for you and you're running the right kind of dose. You're taking care of yourself. You might want to be running running protection for prolactin if you're going too high, vitamin B6 if you're lower, Dostanex or Promi if you're running a little bit higher dose. But realize these side effects are very real. Some people go, well, Tren's overplayed. It's not that bad. Look, if you run it right, then some of the horror stories you hear may seem overplayed to you because you'll avoid a lot of these problems. But if you run this like a jerk, it's going to treat you like a jerk. Okay? Just keep that in mind. I just stress this because I see so many guys doing things that I just can't even believe, and I'm just like, please stop this nonsense and this madness because it's just so unnecessary, and these things are easily avoidable if you would just get your head on right. So I'm just looking out for you guys because I just hate seeing people suffer unnecessarily because I see it all the time and I'm just like, man, you don't have to be experiencing this. You don't have to be going through this. So just trust me. Trust me on this. Please. I'm only trying to help you. So, Gemelli signing off.